Hello and welcome to this new episode of In This Together with me, your host. You guessed it, as always. So guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. It's an incredible honor to have you here. Come on. It's an incredible honor to have you here on this podcast, on this platform. Thank you. Thank you all. Everyone is always acknowledging in the last part of the video. I just want to acknowledge you first. Thank you for all the views and all the love that you're sharing with me and you're spreading. Thank you. So, what we're going to talk about today, a very important topic to me. It's been a long journey for me. This kind of topic that we're going to discuss today, which is what you're going to do and how to improve and how to ameliorate your first hour of your day. Exactly that. Because we never quite stop for a moment because we feel all the dread that is coming from your morning routine. After you wake up, you always start feeling all this existential dread that's coming towards you. I have to do this, and I have to go to school, and I have to go to class, and I have to work, and I have to do whatever it might be. And you feel overwhelmed by all the things. You feel overwhelmed by the incredible amount of activities that you will have to perform in so few hours. Well, my friends, please just stop for a moment and say with me, calm down. Calm down. Why? Why we have to calm down a little bit? Because this incredible new personal development industry is suggesting you to go outside, go to the nearest ocean you have at your disposal. Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean. You stay there, you go there, you see and you can hear quite clearly, the sounds of the sea, impacting the rocks and sand, the waves. But unfortunately, not many of us have that kind of opportunity to meditate in front of an ocean. You know what? Because I'm from Italy, I'm from Milan, I don't have that possibility because it's always cloudy, humid, and quite bad temperatures. No bueno. So for those of us who doesn't have the possibility and don't have actually the possibility to get in front of the sea, okay, how can we make a little more pleasurable that kind of first hour? So first of all, for sure, you should try to get moving, activating yourself. Activating yourself means that you're just priming yourself to get more action into your day. And you will start feeling more alert. Even if you don't exactly maybe are doing a particularly high intensity interval training or a gym training, but still, even just the slightest of the action that you do and you perform throughout your day, throughout your morning, can be very impactful to your basic level in your physiology, which is very much affected by how you move and what you're doing. So even just, I'm in the bedroom, so I can clearly show you, if you just priming yourself, even just to the slightest action, just like, making your bed, you will just have that kind of more alertness. And if you compound that action, maybe with a little walk, and I'm not suggesting even to go outside, that would be another point in this video, but that's another part. If you don't have quite a possibility to get outside because maybe you have an online meeting and you cannot get out so easily, because many gurus in this industry right now are telling, and I'm absolutely agree 100% with them. But most of the time, it's even stressful. It's even more stressful to get outside sometimes because you don't have the actual possibility to get there. Maybe you have a scheduled meeting and you cannot say, okay, well, I'm gonna go for a walk and then I get back and then I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I did it. And right now I can just come back to my scheduled meeting. No, you can't. So what you do, you can even just, that's one of my dearest advice. If you cannot walk outside, well, walk inside. I know this sounds a little bit crazy, I know it, but it is moving yourself. You're actually moving yourself, even if it's inside your apartment. I know that it can be stigmatized as a crazy person attitude because, well, who's trying just to, continuously going up and down your room or your apartment but we don't care about that because we care about the moving part. And actually you're activating all your neuromodulators. Well, of course I'm not a physician, I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm so keen on these kind of things. And so I know if you're just moving and activating yourself, you're activating even your stimulating neuromodulators. You're stimulating yourself, you're priming yourself to get into action. So you kick into gear, and so you can have, it's like a little bit of caffeine. So it's quite good. So second of all, for me, the second advice I would give you is try to be mindful, but wait a sec. I'm not suggesting you more meditation. Okay, meditation is a great way of starting your day. But I know even from the other end that it's quite complicated to get there because we always have in mind that great idea that I portrayed a few minutes back. You in front of an ocean and stay there, with hands in this kind of position and just wandering with your mind and in front of the ocean. But yes, we don't have that kind of possibility. So mindfulness does not particularly mean and necessarily mean that you have to meditate. You can have another type of action that can lead you to a further improvement of your mental health. Such as, for example, listening to a music that you love. For example, most of the time I start my day with that in mind. I reach for my AirPods. I try to avoid as the plague my phone. And I know it's so difficult, even to me it's so critically difficult not to reach to your phone because of course everything is there, your emails are there, your notifications are there, the texts are there, so all your life is there. But please avoid like the plague, at least for the first hour, at least for the first 30 minutes of your day, at least try to avoid your phone. Try to avoid your phone, at least the social part of your phone, because if you're willing to get on to Spotify for listening to music, it's okay, but please try to avoid like plague the social part of your phone, okay? And then you come back and I reach, for example, for my AirPods. So, okay, I'm not linked to Apple, unfortunately, so I'm not suggesting you should buy one thing instead of another, but still, I reach for the earphones and I just try to start my day with maybe the most relaxing kind of thing that I like, that I love. And most of the time, I don't know if it happens to you, but to me, after my sleep, I tend to have some preferences for some kind of music. I don't know, maybe a kind of beat that I used to, or maybe I resonate because I just dreamt of it, or just because you had in mind and it kicked it in some sort of way that you had always said, oh yeah, I just listened to it yesterday or 3 days ago or 4 days ago, don't care, but still you want to start your day like that. So you're going to start with something that can really help you start your day by staying relaxed and calm. Every action, huh? So music is one type, or maybe if you're a sportive guy or girl, of course, you can just try to maybe slightly stretch. Is another incredible tip, because I think stretching is by far one of the most underutilized and underestimated practices. Stretching is fantastic, and unfortunately I have that problem too, that I can't quite stretch enough. So I'm not that kind of stretching guy that I used to, sit there for 2 hours doing some stretching practices and routines, but I should definitely implement it, so I will. And of course, another important topic is the stimulants that tend to overbear and overwhelm our morning. So stimulants, I mean caffeine, especially coffee or tea or fresh brewed, herbal teas from my personal perspective, for what I've learned throughout all these years, and I particularly love coffee. I'm a coffee lover, as you cannot even imagine. Being Italian, we have a lot of traditions about coffee. So we love particularly, a tazzina of espresso is something that for us Italians is like amazing. You cannot think to start your day without that espresso in tazzina. But the fact is that for my personal perspective, I just want to feel more alert thanks to my physiological response, and not by an external factor such as caffeine. The caffeine from the coffee, which is hitting me and is basically priming myself and is binding to my adenosine receptors, making me feel more alert, making me feel more active, but actually it's not quite, it's disguising itself as an activator, but you're not actually activating yourself, because it's just like a way to, let's say, disguise to your brain, to get activated without getting activated. And so, for example, coffee, I would like to push a little bit further throughout the morning. So if you're a coffee lover, as me, or a tea lover, which has some caffeine in it, I don't remember exactly the quantity involved in that. So, but I think at least 25 to 30% to 40%, and then, for example, getting to yerba mate, which is another very, very strong and powerful substance and kind of brew, especially famous in Argentina and Uruguay, I think. But nonetheless, so I will try to get the stimulants a little bit further throughout the morning. So let's say after an hour of waking, after an hour and a half of waking, so you're way more alert because you've been doing things, you've been moving around your house or maybe elsewhere, and you're starting to kick into gear without any stimulants that is pushing you forward. And that's why, for example, I don't know about you guys, but when I went to the gym, when I used to go to the gym, and right now I still be going to the gym, but I used to have this kind of caffeinated drinks before the workout, the famous or infamous pre-workout, and it was such a huge hit, but actually even quite unhealthy. And I'm not suggesting you not to use them. If you're good with them, please go ahead. If they're not impairing your sleep, if they're not impacting or damaging your body or any organs of your body, or the physiological response, your physiological response to that kind of caffeinated drinks, it's okay, please go ahead. But from my personal perspective, from my personal experience, I don't know. I would stay as far as I can from those kind of substances. But you know, I'm just a regular type of guy who's trying to do a podcast here. Well, nonetheless, so push a little bit forward the window for your stimulants, such as caffeine, so coffee and tea. And last but not least, thanks to the great Andrew Huberman, which is always is saying, and I really appreciate him, and it is such an incredible person, and his podcast and his intention to bring us for free some of the greatest neuroscientific notions that I ever heard in my life. It's actually getting me even closer to that kind of subject. So thank you, Mr. Huberman, for all the work you're doing, and thank you for getting this last tip to my audience, which is of course sunlight exposure in the first hour of the day. So at least, it's not maybe, if I'm not saying maybe, if it's direct sunlight is even better, of course. If it would be like just, you know, light exposure, so even if it's overcasted over there, so please do it. So you want to have light in your suprachiasmatic nucleus. But thank you, Andrew, thank you, Mr. Huberman, for all the incredible notions and news and feedbacks that you give us throughout your podcast for free. We are, myself, my audience, and everyone is deeply grateful for the services you're rendering to this community for free. Thank you very much. So guys, these are the tips for you to improve at least the first hour of your wake. So these guys are the tips that I will give you for getting a great first hour of the day, because we don't want to dread our morning anymore. And if you get handle, and if you get hand, and if you can get your first day kick into gear with great intention, with great perspective, with great even power, then you will feel refreshed all the morning long, all the afternoon long, just because of that first hour of your day. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I love you all. I feel you here with me as always. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening if you're listening on Spotify, and see you next episode. Bye bye guys, and God bless you all.